My new neighbor Karen screamed so loud I thought the world was ending. Her voice could shatter glass, and it nearly did mine, specifically over a stupid fence. It was a Tuesday, and I was sipping coffee in my backyard when she stormed out, red-faced, waving a tape measure like a sword. "Your fence is 6 inches over my property line," she shrieked, her voice slicing through the morning calm. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. It wasn't. By noon, she'd escalated to threats, claiming she'd sue me into oblivion. By evening, she was pointing a handgun at me over the splintered wooden divide, her eyes wild with fury. The fence, a flimsy thing battered by last week's storm, was now the battleground for her unhinged crusade. I stood there, heart pounding, staring down the barrel, wondering how a property line dispute had turned into a life-or-death standoff. Karen wasn't just angry, she was obsessed. For weeks, she'd been measuring, photographing, and emailing city officials about my fence, which I'd inherited when I bought the house. I tried reasoning with her, showing her the surveyor's report that proved the fence was legal. She didn't care. "You're stealing my land," she'd yell, as if 6 inches of dirt was her birthright. Her husband, a quiet man who seemed perpetually embarrassed, tried to calm her, but she'd brush him off. The neighborhood watched, whispering behind curtains, as Karen's tirades became daily entertainment. Then came the gun. I'd been trimming my hedges when she appeared, weapon in hand, screaming about justice. The fence, already half broken from the storm, was now a symbol of her unraveling sanity. I raised my hands, trying to de-escalate, but her finger twitched on the trigger. "Move it, or I'll make you," she hissed. My dog barked from the porch, and I prayed he wouldn't charge. One wrong move, and I was done. The air felt thick, like time itself was holding its breath. I could see the neighbors' lights flicking on, someone dialing 911. Karen's rage had turned her into a stranger to reason, but I wasn't about to die over a fence. "Karen," I said, voice steady despite my racing pulse, "put the gun down. We'll fix this." She laughed, a sharp, bitter sound, and accused me of bribing officials to forge the survey. That's when I noticed the wooden sign she'd hammered into her yard, scrawled with "Thief Lives Here" in black marker. It was absurd, almost comical, but the gun made it terrifying. I took a step back, hands still up, and started talking about her garden, anything to distract her. "Your roses are beautiful, Karen. Let's talk about this calmly." Her eyes flickered, but the gun stayed steady. Then sirens wailed in the distance, and her face twisted with panic. The police arrived, and Karen's bravado crumbled. She dropped the gun, sobbing, claiming I provoked her. The officers didn't buy it. They cuffed her, read her rights, and took her away as neighbors gawked. I stood there, shaking, as the adrenaline drained out of me. The fence was still there, broken and sad, a mute witness to her meltdown. But this wasn't over. I wasn't going to let her walk away from pointing a gun at me. I pressed charges assault with a deadly weapon. The neighborhood buzzed with gossip, some siding with Karen, saying I should have just moved the fence. Others called her unhinged, a danger to us all. I didn't care about the chatter. I wanted justice, not revenge, but I wasn't going to let her terrorize me and get away with it. The courtroom was quiet, the air heavy with tension. Karen sat across from me, her eyes avoiding mine, her lawyer spinning a tale of a stressed-out woman pushed to the edge. I told the truth. The fence was legal, her threats were constant, and the gun was real. The judge didn't hesitate. Karen was found guilty, sentenced to community service and a hefty fine, plus a restraining order. I felt no joy watching her crumble, only a hollow relief. The fence stayed up, but I paid to repair it, hoping to close the chapter. Yet, as I walked past her house, now quiet, I saw her husband tending their garden alone. The sign was gone, but the damage lingered, not just the fence, but the trust in our little community, shattered by one woman's obsession. Months later, I heard Karen moved away. Her house sat empty, a reminder of the chaos she'd caused. I didn't hate her, I pitied her. She'd let a trivial dispute consume her, turning a neighborly disagreement into a nightmare. The fence still stands, a little sturdier now, but every time I see it, I remember the gun, the fear, and the cost of letting anger win. Justice was served, but at what price? We're all a little more guarded now, a little less neighborly. And that, more than anything, is the real tragedy.